Previously on Walking the Earth podcast, you heard part one of Mike and my conversation about our reunion after 15 months. In the conversation, we talk about Mike's reverse culture shock, what exactly it was like coming back to the U.S. We talk about things that we both observed that have changed in the past year between us two. And now, the next part in our conversation, part two, we continue to talk about things that have changed in the past year, and we start to look into the future. So stick tight. Here is part two of Mike and Justin's reunion. So what else? So you're home. We're right now in Owings Mills, Maryland.
Yep.
You had the journey back from New York City down
Yep.
here. We came here for our 10-year reunion.
Yeah. We
From
did
high
like
school.
well, we had I guess the official one was back in August. So
Yeah.
we kind of set up because a lot of
second-
people secondary like high school reunion. It was really cool, man.
Yeah, we had what it was like 20 to 30 people showed
and it was
up.
like
Yeah.
it was really nice just seeing people. And granted it wasn't our whole high school or anything.
No.
But it was like it was definitely people that I got to see people that weren't the our core group of friends that we always saw. So it was so cool seeing people that and yeah.
Like, how does it make you feel? Like this has been like a whirlwind transition from isolation, leaving 15 months ago, to isolation, to getting used to being on the road, to traveling, to settling in Chiang Mai and realizing you enjoy being there and establishing yourself, and then coming back, going through this culture shock,
Yeah.
going through this adaptation back into this society, and then you're going through this mental process of homecoming and reunions are an interesting time. It's like you're dealing with all these things and revisiting all these memories that you had in high school and trying to deal with those too.
Yeah.
So it's a big like coming of age, I don't know, type of thing, or just
homecoming was a good way to put it.
Yeah. So like what else? Just coming back to Owings Mills,
Yeah.
and seeing your family and seeing your friends, like how is that painted behind the backdrop of this trip that you've just taken and this journey that you're just getting home from? Like how does that change your perception of things here? Or
there's a lot of it's for me it's just so interesting to see what everyone else has been up to.
Right.
Like things have changed. Like I've come back and there's people that are engaged now, or like, my stepbrother now has a third kid, and like getting to see my nieces and nephew, and you are also an uncle yourself.
Yeah, I'm an uncle,
and like those kind of things, like just and seeing like where what everyone's been up to, and like that's been interesting, and I think I think now I just maybe have more of an appreciation for like listening, right?
Right.
Listening to other people's stories and like hearing, like really connecting and hearing like, wow, what this is like, because everyone's doing something interesting in a different way.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's a change. I'm better able to like, really like hear about that from people and like get into like, oh yeah, what's the thing that's really moving you now? And
yeah.
Like, and that's been really cool because now I can see. I feel like I can just see deeper into people now.
And can I say something about my feelings too? Like going to just the reunion and things like that. Like we had one 5 years ago, and I don't know why. Like I might have felt like, doing like a gap analysis. I can tell like back then I was like, oh, what have I been doing? What can I prove? Oh, I did this, and this. Now I'm here. I'm doing this. And in the past year, honestly, I don't know if it's a maturity thing or self-actualization or reflection, the ability to look inside yourself. But I can tell that, I'm just glad to know everyone. I don't have anything. There's nothing to prove.
Exactly.
Nobody gives a fuck
exactly.
about you.
Yep.
Nobody gives two shits. And they only want to hear.
No one
like,
cares how awesome we are.
No one
nobody
gives
whatever.
two fucks, and all you have to do is like yourself.
Exactly.
That is all. Like that is the biggest thing I've learned.
Exactly.
Nobody gives a fuck if you're on like primetime TV or doing this or that. Great. You know, now everybody's gonna be like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
How's TV? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got kids, and
we get in our own heads, like there's this sense of like an ego, right? Like, I'll say like I've done it, like I feel like, oh yeah, this thing, like and like it's like no one gives a fuck.
I mean, they'll think about you for the day or the 10 minutes that you're there, and then they'll be like, "Wow, yeah, that's really cool."
Not to say they don't care. People care.
People care.
People care about you because they care about you, not because of like some accomplishments or some kind of like proving of something.
They care about you as a person.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, oh, great, you're still little Tommy Two-Tone who happened to go on to Broadway and is now in a musical. Right. Great, but you're still Tommy Two-Tone to me. You know? You're still that guy. You just are fixated about being on Broadway, or you've done this or that, like, and that's it, man. You got to be happy with yourself.
I think so, and I think you're right, man. Like in our own heads, we tend to like, we build up this thing. We build up our own like self-worth based on like what we've done.
Oh, I did this.
I did this. Yeah, exactly.
I did this. Check mark.
And then like, it's another thing I can talk. Oh yeah, I did this thing. But really, it's like none of that matters. If you're just happy with content with yourself anyway, then like then it's. Yeah, the rest kind of falls, I think.
It does. And
it's what it makes me think about is right before coming back, actually, was also an intense period for me. My last, call it like week or two in Thailand. Because there was that part of me that was like, I felt like I still had something to prove,
Really?
Like, because, here I left and I was gone for 15 months. And I had this idea in my head that I was going to come back and people were going to be like, so what's the plan now? Like, expect me to have it figured out. And the truth is that, like, I tell you still today, like, I don't know exactly. I still don't have an exact plan. I don't know it. I have ideas. Right now, I think I'm going to go back to Thailand. Yeah. Although I haven't booked a ticket yet. So it's like I'm still, like, exploring things, if you will. So I don't have it figured out. Here's the thing. Before I left, I was just getting myself worked up about that, about being like, oh man, I don't want to. I was feeling threatened, I guess, like, oh man, I don't want people to interrogate me and all this. But really, like, what I came to realize in that like week before I left was, wait, like you were saying, there's nothing to like prove. Like, no, I don't know my plan, and that's okay. I'm like, I can own it now and like kind of be. Okay, and not create a battle, in my own head before I even like see things, And
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I float in and out of being okay with where I am and what I'm doing, and sometimes I don't feel okay with it, and I question everything. But those moments are like that happen. I think within the past a week or so, like was like, holy shit, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's like wow, I am who I am, and I am where I am.
Right. Yeah.
And another thing on a similar note is that I realized that everyone has self-doubt.
Yeah.
Every single person has self-doubt. Like, just my conversations with you. Everybody's, their entire lives is questioning, who am I? Yeah. Am I worth anything? Yeah. What am I doing with my life? Why am I here? Like, and really, that is what motivates people to, to work their asses off to prove that they can get a lot of money, and then they realize that they still don't feel good about themselves. Right. Or you can, self-guilt yourself into traveling around the world and then realizing like, oh, I still don't know what I want to do with myself, and I don't feel good, but really it's all in your head.
Yes.
Every single person you meet, every single person you see, I'm not saying everybody's feels this way, but I think a lot of people are. And there's very few of us who are comfortable in their own skin. I'm one of those people. I float in and out of it.
Yeah.
But just realizing that everybody, they're 60, they're 70, they're 80, you're 28, you're 25. Your entire life, I think your brain is, something in your head makes you question yourself and what you're doing. And if you can be okay with that and be like, yeah, I am going to question myself. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do.
Yeah.
and just go with it. I
Exactly.
think life is better.
I think so, and it's and I for sure for me, like I before I left on this trip, right? That was the situation I felt like I was in, where I was doing a thing, like I had this, you would say in air quotes, good job and a career and all this stuff, and all these things that by you know that were supposed to make one successful, and I felt like I was I don't know. I did. It wasn't the thing for me, right? But at the same time, what's another interesting perspective I have on that is like I made that kind of into a battle that was unnecessary, right? Like there's a part of me that made it into like I'm rejecting these things of uh, what society says I should do, but no, it's not about me rejecting anything else. It's about me deciding what's right for me,
Right.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So that's been like that's been something I'm really kind of understanding
Yeah.
internal. I think it's something I know to be true, but really kind of internalizing and
Yeah.
understanding. Like, um, yeah, man.
On a similar note, like I definitely felt I was like rejecting the corporate
Right.
ladder, and I appreciate corporation. I appreciate my old job,
Yeah.
and it's just like I don't identify with that, and
Yeah.
I was self-doubting, like, why are you feeling this way? Why do you not want to do
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Why did I live in Syracuse for 5 years?
Yeah.
And being okay with it. And I realized, thinking back, I had all these friends. I had a lot of things I really enjoyed. A lot of people I enjoyed being with, and I liked my experience. I liked my job, but I
Mm.
knew at the end of the day, I didn't want to, travel to
Yeah.
certain parts of the country,
Yeah.
remote parts of the country, just to follow a job.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that, while I was there and even afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
am I fucking up my career? Am I
Right.
fucking up my life?
Right.
No, it's just I want to do this right now,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
So, anyway, like this brings it back to now. Like,
Yeah.
it brings it back to, you are here
Right.
right now in my basement. The Ravens game is on.
Yes.
We're not watching it.
We aren't. That is true.
And I'm fine with that. It's
I
okay.
am too. It's weird because I was and I still am, a Ravens fan.
Yeah.
But I haven't really watched much football when I've been abroad.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of cool because the season before I left the country,
Yeah.
we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so I like kind of left on a
On
high note. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the first season, I guess it was last season when I was first traveling. Like I don't know if I guess we weren't that good. So I was like, all right, it's good. But yeah, I didn't really watch much football, and now it's like, the game's on, and I'm kind of just it's not. It's interesting that it's not
Yeah.
as important of a thing as it was. Yeah, that is interesting though.
It's, and I, ever since I got rid of TV, I realized, like, I don't really
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
I don't care about sports. I don't care about certain things, and it's like, it's fine with me.
Yeah, that's okay. Like, and what I liked about it when I used to, the thing, what it is about football and everything. What I liked about it was this sense of camaraderie, and like when I was in Houston,
Yeah.
what was cool about being a Ravens fan
Is you have
was
this. Yeah.
yeah, like we had this Facebook group, the Houston area Ravens fans, and so all these people from Baltimore, like all the Baltimore people that like lived in Houston, we got together at a certain bar every
Yeah.
Sunday, and we would all like watch these games together, and like that was, I think it was always about that. More that camaraderie, the
together.
relationships, getting together. It's not about the game itself. It's about like who are you there watching it with? What's the experience,
Yeah.
that camaraderie, and I think that's maybe what it's about.
I think people get caught up in the sport. Too
Yeah,
much.
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like it gets to be like a rivalry and
Yeah.
everything.
But you know what? It's, coming back home and seeing like how people are going certain tracks, and
Yeah.
people are going different tracks, and people are lifelong Ravens fans and watch it religiously, like
Yeah.
my dad,
Yeah.
like, or family, and
Yeah.
it's
Well,
it's fun to be part of that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, man.
But you don't have to. It's
No,
like whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. If it's a fun thing, I've loved it, but
Yeah.
it's also like I'm in a phase now where it's like, okay, that's not as important to me as it was, and like that's also like that's also fine,
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
So like, with all this stuff, like, I want to know, people asked me, honestly, what is Mike gonna do next? People ask me that all the time. They're like, what's Mike gonna do? And I tell them, I don't know. I think he might wind up in Chiang Mai someday. But, I don't know for sure. Yeah. I don't think he knows.
That's accurate, man. I don't know for sure. Like,
and why do you have to know?
It's a fair question to ask. Like, okay, so what's next? Like, what I'm doing is, not ordinary to just kind of be, I'm in a fortunate position where I'm able to do this, as I have enough money saved up, and I do have this, I have a little bit of a business going with my townhouse I'm renting out. Right. So I'm in a very fortunate position where I'm not going to last forever. I'm going to need to generate some money. Right. At some point, but I'm not like in urgent need of like hitting $0 in my bank account. I'm still in good shape, and so I guess for me it's like what's important for me right now is to do something that I'm passionate about. Yeah. I don't want to just go and take a job for the sake of taking a job. Yeah. For the sake of chasing money. And that was the trap I kind of fell in previously, where I had a good job, a good career, and it just felt like I was chasing this dangling carrot. There's never enough security, never enough money, never enough comfort. Because the realization I had was like, what's the thing I want to do right now? I want to travel, and I already have enough money to do that. So why? It was just this like, duh. Then why wouldn't you do it? Kind of moment. Yeah. And so I'm in a fortunate position at the moment where I'm not in urgent need. So I'm not just going to take a job for the sake of it. What do I want though? What I want in life right now is, so the backpacking thing was amazing, and I learned so much. At this moment though, I'm not planning, let's say, to like continue hardcore backpacking, moving. That was one of the most amazing, incredible experiences of my life. Yeah. But what I felt, and what I've talked about on the show also, is like, after doing it for 8 months, there was that feeling of kind of loneliness, and I wanted more stability. I wanted to build relationships. Right. Yeah. And so I do want to have a base right now. So that's one thing.
Stability.
Yeah. So one thing is I'm not going to be just moving as I was. I'll have some stability to myself. And then with stability is, when you're backpacking, there's so much excitement every day of the new place. And when you get bored of a place, you move to the next one. Right. And I found, I've been, I guess the Ravens sounds like the Ravens just scored. I've been spending the last 3 months living in Chiang Mai, basically. Because when I hit that point of wanting more stability, I just was like, all right, Chiang Mai is the place. That was the home for me. Yeah. And I went there.
And do you think you could see yourself back there?
I could. What I found was, once I became more stable, I do need something else to occupy myself with once the excitement of moving was gone. Right. And so what I got into in Chiang Mai, I started to, I had a Thai language tutor, and the guy was he's on, we haven't posted this episode as of recording this, but by the time this is posted, probably will be an episode already. I actually brought him, he was an expat in the US for 30 years. Oh, and he's retired in Chiang Mai. Oh, cool. And he was offering people like basically free tutoring, and I was like, yeah, I want to learn some more Thai. So I was trying to learn some Thai language. I did some jujitsu until I got myself in a little bit of a motorbike crash and hurt it. But I was basically, what I'm getting at is I found I need some more activities and stuff. Yeah. So that brings us to now. What do I want to do? Yeah. And I want to just spend my time doing something I'm passionate about, and what I think I will be doing is, yes, Chiang Mai. To answer that question, I can see myself going back there. Okay. I don't have flights booked yet, but probably I'll go back to Chiang Mai. That's my thought process. I right now I think I'll go back in January, but like I said,
it could change.
I'm going to be traveling around the States over the next few weeks, and with new eyes, and so I might find opportunities that I didn't know existed. Right. So I'm leaving myself very open to to any possibility. But my default plan is to go to Chiang Mai, take proper Thai language classes. Yes. That's something I really enjoyed learning to speak Thai. Like, I don't speak that much, a little bit, but I really enjoyed it as I was learning more, just being able to communicate better with people, make more local friends. And it was exciting. Like, I don't know, it was something I was getting passionate about. I felt myself like enjoying that.
Right.
And maybe I'll teach some, if I can't find, the other idea would be while I'm taking Thai language classes, I also would work on some business online.
Right.
If I can't find something I really care about, maybe I'll teach English, because
I could see myself, opportunity.
Yeah, I could see myself really enjoying that and learning a language or teaching a language. You know,
and you maybe make a couple dollars possibly.
Yeah, exactly.
Or for free. You never know.
I could. All those things are good either way, and it's I guess what I'm saying is
sum it up.
That's
sum it
my,
up in one sentence.
My default plan is go back to Chiang Mai, learn Thai, and work on something else or something better that comes up.
Got it.
So my worst case scenario, which is a good one.
That's a pretty good scenario.
It's a really good worst case scenario.
And you can always hang with me in New York.
Yeah.
You know where my place is.
Yes.
And I can show you the cheaper places. You don't have to eat out every day.
Well, actually, I want to ask you the same question. What's next for Justin Castle?
Well, this is actually a difficult question for me. I think I'm gonna be in New York for a while. I'm gonna be in New York for, at least I see myself another year. Beyond that, I don't know. I know at some point I want to like keep doing comedy. I want to keep doing sketch writing, and I'm very passionate. I've got some really good friends that I like doing it with. I think I'm overcommitted in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
If people don't know,
you got a crazy schedule.
I do things like every night of the week.
Yeah.
This is one of them. If I'm not, if it doesn't show, now you know.
Yeah, well, you got work, you got comedy, doing improv, doing a podcast.
Right. Trying to like meet people and
trying to have a social life at the same time.
I've talked to my parents. I think I've always been this way. I realized that back in high school, I was in like a National Honor Society, SAD, jazz band. I was in a band outside of school. I played lacrosse.
Yeah.
I did all these different activities, and then we'd make videos and like do stupid shenanigans.
Yeah. Our high school video series.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll
release it.
A couple. But
we could post some things out there. Maybe we'll post a link to you dancing in the snow.
Okay,
to the Nutcracker.
Yeah, let's do that. People like that.
We'll attach that to the episode show notes.
For people across the world that don't know what snow is, you'll get to see some snow.
Yeah.
And I really, that just coming home for the reunion and talking to my parents and talking to people made me realize like I've always been this way, and it'd be nice to slow down a little bit and really focus in on the things that I care about, and like, holy shit, what happens if I spend all this time on these things?
Yeah.
And I think that's on the agenda, is to really kind of like slow down a little bit and not be so running around every single night. Say no to some things, honestly.
Yeah.
You can't do everything.
I think that's important.
Is to know what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
And to, just so for the next year, hang low, do some comedy.
Yeah.
I want to travel in the next year. I keep saying it. I'm trying to keep saying it so I do it. I don't want to back down on it. It depends on, my loan situation,
right.
My money situation.
Right.
I'm doing well, but I owe student loans, so that's very important.
Yeah, that is a big thing, man.
Yeah. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next year I'm going to try to do that, and just keep doing that. And hopefully, keep, God willing, this podcast will keep going on forever.
We can keep doing it as long as we feel like it.
Exactly. But that's it, man. And I want to be closer with my friends and family. And I realized that the past year I've been very me-centric, and I want to be more family-oriented.
Yeah.
I see like people getting married. I see people doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And just this reunion made me realize, like, I'll always have a strong bond with my friends from home and my families. At the end of the day, life is really short. I posted online, the website a few weeks back about my friend getting colon cancer.
Right.
Like, that really was eye-opening for me.
Right.
And life is short, guys. So
yeah.
If you're not, I realize that I'm not doing a lot of activities but I want to do more living.
Oh,
So that's my goal.
grab life by the balls.
Carpe los balls.
That's awesome.
Can we call the episode Carpe los balls?
We should make that the tagline for the show.
Carpe los balls in parentheses. Seize the balls. But carpe is Latin, los is Spanish, and balls is in English.
Well, it's a international show, right?
It is an international show.
So it only makes sense. Carpe los balls.
So cool, man.
That's a good one, man. I'm gonna keep that in the repertoire. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What's something you'd like to do in your life?
Oh God!
Before you die.
Wow, I've asked this so many times. This is gonna be, I've got one that I definitely want to do. It's not adventurous, but I'm a little scared of it. But one day I want to have kids.
Okay.
I want to have kids, and I think I want to open up my own improv theater one day. So those are two things.
Sweet.
I want to have kids, and I just realized that this week. Like, I want to teach people how to do funny things because it makes me so happy. So that's one thing those are two things I want to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you can maybe teach your kids some comedy. Have a little Castle Clan improv troupe.
Oh my God.
The Castle Family Improv Theater.
Oh my God. Yeah. They'll be saying cock shit, ass balls at like age 5.
Carpe los balls.
My dad's a Carpe los balls. What does that mean, little Timmy?
I think that's awesome, man. Like, you've always been, since we were young, an entertainer.
Yeah.
And that is definitely something where you glow, and I know you enjoy like making other people laugh and happy. So
yeah, definitely.
And you're pursuing that now with the comedy, and so I think, I think you would have an awesome improv school or theater, whatever kind of thing it ends up coming.
Yeah, Justin Castle's method to being funny.
I think it'd be really good at it too. Because it's something you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So if it's anything you're passionate about, you will be good at.
Yeah. True.
So yeah, man.
I appreciate that.
And if you have little kids, hopefully they'll call me Uncle Mike.
We'll Skype him in.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll be living closer at that time. Who knows, man?
Or we could 3D them in at one. I'm sure by then.
Yeah, we'll have 3D Skype by then. We'll have Star Wars.
Star Wars hologram,
like the Princess Leia thing.
Yeah.
You'll be able to do that. I'm sure that'll be like in 5 years they'll have that.
They'll turn Instagram into Instagram.
Yeah, 3-dimensional Instagram or something. Someone who's hearing this now is gonna invent it or something. Probably.
Yeah. I bet you it's somebody's. They got those 3D prototypers.
3D printers now. And everything.
Yeah, I saw those in college actually.
Yeah, well, they also had Tupac like perform.
Yeah.
Like as a hologram or something.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
At Coachella.
Yeah.
Like a year or two ago or whatever. So,
I think I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. I'm glad to be a part of this time.
We're in a crazy, exciting time.
Massive changes.
So much. Much.
Definitely. So, Mr. Michael, what's something you want to do that we haven't mentioned yet on this podcast that you'd like to do before you die?
Yeah, I started thinking about this when I asked you. I was like, oh wait,
you motherfucker.
Oh man, I didn't answer this question. The thing that came to my mind was something that a former guest, Jackie, said, and she said what I want to do is like I just want to be more loving and caring, and like just be the best version of me.
Yeah.
Keep improving and try to like do everything I can to get rid of any negative feelings I have to other people, whether I think they were actually an asshole or not, doesn't matter. Really like be compassionate and loving and caring towards everybody, and try to help people, and just be the best version. That I love the quote. Gandhi said it, and Michael Jackson said it in different ways. Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world," and Michael Jackson, if you want to make the world a better place, you take a look at yourself and make a change.
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly trying to re-examine and I want to be the best version of me, and that's going to be a never-ending process of learning and growth. Yeah. And I think that's in many ways what this journey was about. And so I want to do that and help people and be the best version that I can be of myself.
Cool. I think you've made some steps in the right direction.
Thank you. I was a lot better than whenever asshole tendencies I've had. No, I don't think I was ever intentionally an asshole, but
no.
I'm more cognizant, I think, and getting
of
better.
how you make. I think you're aware of how you make people feel, and how I think you're very aware of like how things you say can be perceived, and people can internalize them sometimes.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey.
Yeah,
it's been a journey to say the least.
Definitely.
And I'm really happy to have shared a lot of this journey with you.
Yeah,
man.
This
show and, it's
motherfucker.
So this is a pretty good note, I'd say.
End on a hug.
End on a hug. That's we're doing a hug. You guys can't see it.
It was a beautiful hug. It was a hug for all the ages.
Yes.
It was like, it wasn't a bear hug. It was a man hug.
Yes.
A brotherly man hug. So if you're out there and you're listening to this lovely podcast, you know where you can find it, Michael.
WTEpodcast.com.
That's
We're also
right.
available on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.
Wow, you said this so well. Like you've done
it's
it
like
before.
I've said this before.
Yeah. You know what else, Mike? If you really like the show, there's something you can do. What can you do, Michael?
Oh yes, you can go to you can get yourself a free audiobook. And so Audible is one of our sponsors of the show, and so basically the way it works is you get yourself a free audiobook.
Yeah.
And it helps us out also. We get like a commission for every person who signs up. For Audible through our link. So if you are a fan of audiobooks or you like podcasts, you probably like audiobooks as well. You can get a free one. Our link is audibletrial.com/WTE podcast. And you can help yourself and help the show.
Help us out.
Yeah. And help us keep doing what we're doing. Hopefully we can keep churning out content that's interesting and it's helpful to people,
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for listening. Folks have been listening since the beginning. Thank you. And new folks, thank you for tuning in. It's been a fun ride to make this.
Absolutely. And I think Joe Dirt said it best. We're gonna keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Didn't they also do that in a movie? Gonna keep on
keeping on. Yeah. We'll keep on keeping on too.
Yeah. So feel free to also give us a rating on iTunes.
Oh yes, we love hearing from you guys. A rating and review goes a ways to helping other people find the show, or just tell word of mouth. Tell if you like the content, tell your friends.
Yeah. And then next time you're in Baltimore, go eat some crabs.
Yes,
eat some crabs.
And go to Mad Dog Murphy's.
That is the international headquarters
for Walking the Earth podcast.
Mad Dog Murphy's.
Mad Dog Murphy's in Canton, Baltimore.
Canton, Baltimore.
Our buddy Adam
is the owner.
Bar.
Just say that you know us, and he'll give you a Walking the Earth rates.
Yes.
And plus, he's a great guy to talk to. If you bring a record, you can play it. You can bring your dogs there.
That's true.
You can play pool there.
Yeah.
Flip cup, beer pong. You can draw on the walls. There's chalk.
Yeah, he's got chalk.
He's half of the wall is just chalk, and you can just draw on there.
I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I'm gonna challenge him to have a wall for people to post their stickers or something, like for people who've traveled the world, or like leave little notes.
Oh yeah,
that'd be
cool.
That'd be really cool.
We should leave some stickers there.
Yeah, we should.
I'll leave some Walking the Earth stickers before leaving. Now that we've dubbed it the official international headquarters
of Walking the Earth podcast. But for now, this is Justin.
And I'm Mike.
And
thank you guys for listening.
Thanks for listening to Walking.
Thank you for coming on the show, Justin.
Hey, Michael, thanks for joining me in my basement. Many things have happened in this basement. I won't name them all.
Oh, man.
But some of them rhyme with gun. And fun, which was fun.
Oh,
that was pretty fun.
I was like, what?
Lots of fun.
Yeah. A lot of memories.
A lot of memories.
Good times.
Forget the gun thing. But anyway, thanks for listening in to Walking the Earth podcast.
Yep.
The podcast about the traveling lifestyle.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next time.
Take care. Sawadee kap, namaste, auf Wiedersehen,
and goodbye. Don't forget to subscribe to us at Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter at WTE Podcast. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.